All right, Brandon Pierce asks, what is your favorite oddball console and what do you like about it? Well, to help me answer this question, I have assembled the Metal Jesus crew. Let's start with Kelsey.
So you probably already know what my favorite oddball system is. That's the WonderSwan. I have a lot of them. So the reason I like the WonderSwan, well, there's a lot of reasons. I've always been a big fan of colored consoles, you know, ones that look pretty. I think that was honestly what originally drew me to the console, was that there's so many of these really pretty colors for it, but it's actually a really great handheld system. So it was designed by the same guy, Gunpei Yokoi, who made the Game Boy and the Game & Watch. And it's really neat because some games you play normally just horizontally like this, and then some games you play vertically. So there's some shoot 'em ups, there's some puzzle games, that sort of thing, where you play like this. So I like that it's really versatile. I also just like collecting for it because, well, unlike Game Boy games, I mean, they also come in the cardboard boxes and can be kind of hard to find in nice condition, but there's quite a few of them that have sort of collector's editions. Like, for instance, this one, Rundim, comes with a mech figure, so I think that's really cool. Some other things like Terror came with headphones, so there's just a lot of really cool pack-ins for the system. It's also relatively easy to collect for. There's only 200 games-ish total between the WonderSwan and the WonderSwan Color. So it's not a ridiculously difficult system to get collecting for, even though it's Japanese. So never came outside of Japan, but most of the games are pretty cheap, even complete in box. The most I've spent on any game was for this one, and this was a little over $100. Most of my games are more like 10 to 20 with a few $50, $60 games in there, so it can be a lot cheaper and more reasonable to collect for than the Game Boy or other handheld consoles, so that's my favorite.
Hey guys, that's a good question. I'm gonna say my favorite oddball console would be the Amiga CD. I've always wanted to own one. There's just something really funky about that thing that just makes me want one. I had the chance to get one back in 2014, but I skipped out on a trip to go to Canada with John Hancock, and I regret it because he actually picked one up when he went down there. But hopefully I'll get one someday. I mean, that console is just like, I don't know, it's just really weird. I don't know what to really say about it. I know when I get one, it'll be hard to find games for it because I never see them on eBay. But that's definitely one I would want to get. Out of the consoles I do own, I would have to say the Philips CDI is the most oddball system I own. That's one system that's pretty much dedicated to FMV games, and I love it for that. So yeah, that's my oddball story.
I have a little bedtime story. Let me tell you about the Gizmondo, what could be the worst-selling system of all time. It was a handheld from Tiger. It was supposed to compete with Nintendo and Sony, and the deal behind it was nobody liked it. They put way too much money into promoting it. In fact, they ended up getting into $3 million in debt. They had to go bankrupt. And as it turns out, some of the head people behind the Gizmondo had ties to the Swedish mafia. In fact, the main guy in Europe ended up crashing a $2 million limited edition Ferrari, and he was put in jail for speeding, crashing his car, and having like a criminal background. So that's the Gizmondo in a nutshell. I wish I knew more about it. I wish there was like a historian about gaming, or like a gaming historian who could go into more details about the Gizmondo, but maybe that's a story for another time. Anyway, good night. Oh, the best-selling game on the Gizmondo was a game called Sticky Balls. Sticky Balls.
Oh, yes, Wario, jump, Wario. Oh, no, the other way.
Oh, hello there, I didn't see you. I was too busy playing my favorite oddball console, the Virtual Boy. And one of the reasons I love this console is because it has some sort of like rebel mysticism around it, because I wasn't allowed to have one as a kid. I mean, obviously it was gonna like burn holes in my retinas or something like that. I mean, we all heard that. But I mean, I got one later and I turned out kind of okay. And it's just such a weird, quirky machine. It's a console that you wear on your face, and it's in 3D. It's mind-blowing. And it has really fun games on it as well. It has, like, Wario Land, which I was obviously just enjoying. Mario Clash, which is a great like 3D take on the original Mario Brothers, and it has like Galactic Pinball, which is super fun, and it even has some heavy hitters for collectors like Jack Brothers. And it's just such a fun, weird console. So yes, the Virtual Boy is 100% my favorite oddball console.
My favorite oddball console. I consider my entire collection oddball. I try to pursue the stuff that's not necessarily mainstream. I know I have a crazy Nintendo collection and whatnot, but really I get really excited about oddball stuff. I take pride in that. And hands down, my favorite oddball thing that I love to collect for is this guy. This is not only an oddball console, this is a rare variation of it. I have owned about 4 of these, collecting over the years. I have currently 2 that are working. This is a white Bally Astrocade. Now this has a long history. The short answer is that this was a Montgomery Ward exclusive version. And what it was supposed to be sold with the keyboard component, which never really came out. But this is the white Astrocade. It's a great console. It's kind of a video game computer hybrid, and it's not really talked about a lot, but it has some amazing games on it. Dog Patch. There's a Wizard of War variation. It's a lot of fun. And I love collecting this thing. I always have. I've collected it over the years. I had one of these going way back to the early 2000s was the first one I got. I didn't have a white Astrocade back then, but it's called different things. Bally Arcade, Bally Home Library Computer. But it's great. Just wanted to share that.
So my favorite really weird console would have to be the Russian Glasnaya Popka. It's released in the early 80s trying to ride the wave of the Atari 2600, but it wasn't very good. It didn't have any cartridges, it just had games loaded on it by the state. Blocky, heavy, overheated all the time, but you know, you could probably run over it with a tank and it would be just fine. Sure would like to get my hands on one of those. Again.
Brandon, that is an excellent question. What my favorite oddball console is, I feel like I'm doing a book report, would have to be the Panasonic 3DO. I'm choosing a console that is in my collection, and that honestly is the most oddball one. And I think it's because it has such a wealth of full motion video games in it. Like, I love that bad acting. You can just have a full library of those games. I mean, who wouldn't want a console that has such a great hit called Space Pirates? I mean, of course I want to collect for that console. Very odd. Thank you for the question.
My favorite oddball system is one I do not have in my game collection. Like an idiot, I have passed up the opportunity to buy them in the past, especially complete in box. Now they are very expensive, and that is the Vectrex, the mighty Vectrex. It is somewhat legendary. It was released in 1982, and what makes it really cool, it's a console, but it has the television built into it. And the reason for that is because it is vector-based graphics. This is very similar technology that was in the early arcades to like Asteroids, the original Star Wars, Tempest, things like that. But you got that full arcade experience in your house. There was really no compromise with this thing. It was awesome. It was so killer. And I didn't really even know about it until a couple years ago. Now the cool thing about collecting for it is that there's really only 28 released games for it because it flopped. It came out right before the big video game crash and never really had a chance. And so people who have them today tend to hold on to them because it's still really fun to play today. Also, it has a really interesting feature. So the television is black and white, and you get these plastic colored overlays that you put on the TV to add color to the games. It's just such a unique system. I will eventually add it to my collection. Oh yes, you can count on it. All right, great question. I'd love to know, you guys watching this down in the comments, what are some of your oddball favorite consoles? Some of those weird systems that came out over the last 40 years. I'd love to know. All right guys, thanks for watching. This question was asked by one of my Patreon contributors who helps support my YouTube channel and help shape the content of my videos. In addition to asking questions like this, they also get access to a private chat, an audio podcast, and early access to most of my Friday videos. You can also set the amount you want to contribute, and you can leave or change it at any time. If you'd like to help support my videos and become part of the Metal Militia, please go to patreon.com/MetalJesusRocks.